Hi, Elle.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So tell me, how does it feel to celebrate such a milestone with your IMEX community this year?
Yeah, it's been a really special year. I mean, I think it would have been, obviously, because it's our 20th year, but of course it's made more special by the fact that we haven't been able to have a show since 2019. So for the IMEX team, it's been special, but I also saw on the show floor how special it was for the whole community to get together. And there were so many people here who have been at the show since, if not 2003, then almost, the first time, and they really feel that passion. And I think, they know each other as well, because we meet not just at IMEX but at the industry events all around the year, and so it's been a really special week.
Walking through the show floor the past few days, I know that you've been really busy and hitting the grounds. What are some of the sound bites that you're hearing from both the exhibitors and the buyers?
Yeah, well, from the exhibitors, right from the first day, they were telling us that they were having really strong business inquiries at the stand, and in some cases even signing business at the stands, which was fantastic, because I think we had the same at IMEX America. We knew that there were a good number of buyers coming from around the world, but because of the pandemic, none of us are quite sure what type of business there is. And we know that, the buyers are very busy at the moment, and that there's a lot of pent-up demand for events, but when you look further out, what does that look like? So I think that's been the main thing this year in particular. Exhibitors have been coming off their booth, catching me to tell me that. Usually that doesn't happen, we have to dig a little bit to find that information, but they've been offering it. So that's been happening, and that's from, Messe Frankfurt through to Hong Kong, through to Brazil. So all parts of the world getting really solid business inquiries. From the buyer side, they're telling us, about how busy they are, about the fact that they're short-staffed as well, some of the challenges around that. But in terms of the show, they're just so happy to be back. So many of them actually just haven't seen the exhibitors or destinations for a long time. They don't know what's new in the destinations. They don't know who's still in business. So they're really telling us they're coming here and really just soaking it all up and meeting as many people as they can, and that's just so important for them going forward. And of course it saves them so much time as well. And then also they're loving this hall 9. We've had a lot of comments from everybody really about what a nice space it is, what a nice atmosphere. It's a different atmosphere to the main show, and it gives them that opportunity for some downtime, for education. So yeah, so those are the main things that we've been hearing.
Speaking of Hall 9, my favorite, the wild carpet behind you.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the idea for that is actually taken from our hometown in Brighton. Brighton is on the sea, and there's a seafront walk, and it has this wavy, multicolored pathway on it. And that's also a nod to Pride, because Brighton has the biggest Pride festival really in the whole of Europe. It's where Pride started in Europe, and so the whole city is proud of Pride and also of our LGBT community. And so the team actually just wanted to bring a piece of Brighton, and also it fits with what we're doing in terms of diversity, equity and inclusion, and it just fits with where we are in terms of located and what's important to the team. So we brought a bit of this Brighton Sea Front to Hall 9.
I absolutely love it, because it's just full of joy, like the way I say on Insta story, like just, when you get greeted by that at the start of the day, it just sets your day right.
Yeah.
It just lightens and bright, and constant reminder that, hey, let's live our lives now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the other thing that we're hearing, isn't it? That coming out of the pandemic, people have had time to really reevaluate what's important to them. And I think we've always tried to bring more than just the business to the trade show. We've always talked about IMEX as being more than a trade show, and that's what we mean, that there are other experiences to build around it. But we really wanted to elevate that this year, and I agree with you. It does put a smile on your face, and that's what we're trying to to do in so many different elements. So some people have said how much they've liked the natural grass as well. You can smell the grass, you can hear bird song in the park. So all of these things just to bring a smile to people's faces. It's serious business, but we don't have to be serious about it, right?
Yeah, totally. As you mentioned earlier, IMEX is more than a show, and one of the key pillars obviously is knowledge.
Yeah.
And conversations like sustainability, innovation, the tech lab. So how has COVID evolved that conversation and these topics?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, coming out of COVID, we looked at the topics that we were going to offer at the show and really reevaluated what people needed to talk about. And we also brought in a lot more for mental health and well-being. So we've always had the Be Well Lounge with yoga and meditation, but we also brought the Listening Lab. So it's 2 trained coaches and therapists who've been there all through the show. They've been doing small group sessions, but also they've been available for one-to-one coaching sessions with people. And they said they've just had some really interesting and in-depth conversations. Of course, they haven't told me what they were about for client confidentiality, but I think that's really important as well, to give people that opportunity to have that space and time and experience what it is to be coached and to have therapy, essentially, and just to be listened to. But also, obviously, the pandemic's had a big effect on the tech area of the show. It's kind of ebbed and flowed. It's actually a similar size to what it was in 2019. People probably expect it to be much bigger, but the tech companies are going through a roller coaster time. So it's different companies there, but it's actually a similar scale. So yeah, I think, but largely I would just say that the pandemic just caused us to look at everything differently, and we tried to take that as an opportunity to show up a bit differently and to offer a higher quality education program. So we have a lot of industry experts here, but we also brought in new speakers to the industry, people like Shane Feldman, who talks about building communities. Andy Lepato talks about psychology of meeting. We also have Paul McVeigh, he's an ex-Premier League footballer, and he talks about the psychology of team performance. So just bringing in those different experts, I think, has been really valuable.
Yeah, we were at the gala dinner last night, so
yeah.
Thank you so much for having us there. And one of the things that we sense, even throughout the conversations that we have with people in the room, that we all agree that our industry is fueled by passion.
Yeah.
And so what fuels your passion, and what have you learned about yourself throughout the past journey?
Yeah, well, I think what fuels it is just, I'm really energized by seeing, all our friends from around the world. And I think we're very lucky. We're in a great industry with good people who want to have meaningful relationships, personal relationships as well as professional. And I think that makes it so special, when you come to IMEX, when you come to sort of the events like the gala dinner, because it's a group of people there who do see themselves as kind of an extended family. So that definitely fuels my passion. What I've learned about myself, I think, like everybody else, it's been a time of reflection, hasn't it, to really think through what's important in life. I know that this industry and what we do here is important, but I think it's given me that opportunity to really as well dive deep into our company culture, really look at how we transform that and how we help empower everybody within the business. And I want to bring that into the shows as well. That will be the next step. Really that empowerment for our people in this industry. I think that's really important going forward.
Fantastic. Anything that we should expect at the next IMEX, which is IMEX Vegas?
IMEX Vegas. Oh, well, that's a good question. I'm not sure if I can even remember what's going on for IMEX Vegas. All I would say is, we had a great show last year, which was the first one with a break. And what we're experiencing at the moment, we're about to go live with registration in a couple of weeks, just huge demand. So the main thing to expect is a bigger show, more exhibitors, more buyers, but we have also completely redesigned the educational experience and tracks. We're lucky enough that Tahira Endine has just joined us. She's already having an impact 1 week in, and so we're actually really going to make the education even more focused and easier for people to navigate, and that's going to be something we'll launch in a couple of weeks.
Oh, how exciting. Well, once again, congratulations and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Elle.